We already have covered the basics of aircraft ammunition. What types are there? What are the differences between them? And when should each type be used? Following that video, you asked us in the comments to make yet another guide on ammunition, now covering all things naval. So, here we go. Let's take a look at the rounds used for naval warfare, how they work, explain what is special about different types, and when to use what. Let's start with a standard HE round, the one with the yellow exploding shell on its icon, that one. This is a kind of ammo that is meant to be used against soft targets. For instance, HE rounds are ideal when engaging enemy PT boats on a cruiser. You'll need only a few hits to knock out the enemy boat. Other types of ammo won't be as effective in this situation. At the same time, bigger ships like cruisers aren't a bad target for HE rounds either. They will cause fires, incapacitate enemy crew, and destroy, or at least severely damage, everything on deck. HE ammo is also good at creating big hull breaches that cause flooding. Works on any kind of ship, even heavy cruisers. What if the opposing ship is heavily armored? Or you need to incapacitate it by damaging its engines. A regular HE round won't be of much help. Base Fuse HE is a completely different story though. It also sports yellow on its icon, but with the detonator and the explosion on different sides of the shell. The thing with this type of ammunition is that here, the detonator is in the rear of the shell instead of on the tip, basically delaying the shell exploding till post-penetration, meaning that you will be able to deal good damage to the insides of a ship. In many combat situations, blowing enemy guns off the deck won't be enough to secure you the win. You'd also want to damage enemy modules and deal with enemy crew. That's when Base Fuse HE really comes in handy. Then there are shrapnel rounds. They have a turquoise icon with a smaller explosion. They are used to cleave your target's crew on every hit, but aren't as effective as HE rounds overall because they automatically explode on a timer. Basically, they work as a timed fuse type round, showering the deck with shrapnel, or exploding when hitting the hull like a regular HE round, but to a limited effect. How can you use this ammo then? Well, one trick is to use it on an enemy coming right at you, or when shooting at their rear, so that your shrapnel cone covers as much of their deck as possible, or leave all your shrapnel shots to AI for all of its AA shenanigans. When engaging enemy cruisers, you'd often want to target their most protected components. To do that, you need ammo that can dig through all that armor, and that's where AP and APHE rounds come into play. APHE rounds have more explosive filling, but aren't as good at penetration. You also have to account for the fact that all types of AP shells don't have much of an after-penetration effect. So they're mostly used for sniping key modules, like enemy engines, ammunition hoists, or magazines. Damaging other components is good, but key modules are the ones that your opponent can't afford to lose. A lot of naval guns can be used to fight both other vessels and enemy aircraft. If you're inclined to fight the latter, consider relying on high explosive fragmentation rounds with a special fuse. They come in two types. With distance fuses, they look like an HE round with a timer, and with radio fuses that have radio waves on their icon. What's the difference? When you're using rounds with distance fuses, their timers will be set by your AI gunners, with a slight chance of miscalculation. Right now, there is no way to set the timer manually. Radio fuses, on the other hand, make your rounds go off when they simply get close enough to the target. With those, you don't have to rely on direct hits. They will detonate in proximity to the target, peppering the aircraft with fragmentation. This will allow you to reliably deal with aircraft even at very big distances. Those bombers and torpedo bombers shall not pass. Keep in mind that if your secondary guns use HE rounds with distance fuses, they won't deal much damage to enemy vessels in auto mode, simply because most rounds will detonate before even scratching the target. That's it for the basics. Now that you know what different ammo types are capable of, feel free to experiment when engaging enemies of different types. Tell us about your moments of triumph or failure in the comments below. Share your wisdom. See you in battle.